Hello everybody and welcome back for another Excel quick tip. Today we're going to be talking about data tables, and data tables is something that I'm extremely passionate about because it makes life so much easier, and I absolutely hate getting spreadsheets from people who do not use data tables. And I'm going to walk you through some of the basics of how to set up a data table and why data tables are important in general. So you can see here I'm starting off with the data set, and this data is just a flat range. It's an array, but it's not within a table. So in order to create a table, we're going to select anywhere within, and then you're going to use your keyboard shortcut to select all. So on a Windows PC, that will be Control A. On a Macintosh, it will be a Command A. And so from here, once you've selected your entire table, you can go down and check and make sure, yep, it captured your data. You'll come up here to the insert, and then you're going to hit table. And it's going to ask you this question. We've already validated that yes, that it does capture the data, and our table does have headers, so we will select this. And now we have this data table here. Now, if you look up here under table, you'll have table name, and this one is named table 2. Why is this important? Well, instead of whenever you're using a VLOOKUP or you're creating pivot tables or you're making any sort of reference to this set of data, instead of having to list out the columns and the cells, you can just say table 2. And this becomes very handy, as I'll show you a little bit later, when we start swapping data in and out of here. So you can use this to create Excel templates that as new reports come in, you can copy and paste the new data in, and it'll refresh it. And it works because anything you're doing outside of this table will simply refer to anything in this table by table 2 and the column name. Makes life so much easier. So we're going to go through a couple examples of why this is important, as well as some other reasons for the table. So one of the good things is it's dynamic. So let's say if you wanted to make like a ledger. So let's say you have a spreadsheet that you're typing in transactions or files or anything of that nature. Well, when you're in a data table, as you can see, I've highlighted just below the data table. So this cell that I've highlighted is not part. But as I start typing, it automatically becomes part of, and my typing is terrible today, becomes part, as you can see, it automatically expanded to do this. So if you're using this for data entry, you can do this. And when it does that, it still refers to the full data set as table 2. So any pivot tables or anything else will automatically correspond with that. The same thing is for columns. So we're going to do some formulas up here, and we're going to show how this works, because this is right here, what I'm about to show you is the most powerful feature, in my opinion, of the data table. And so we're going to create a new field called attendance type. Okay, and you see it just automatically expanded the table. Now we're still look up here, table 2. So now table 2 now includes a new column. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a generic if statement. I will be making some quick tips on if statements, and we're going to say if the attendance is greater than 5,000, then we're going to say crowded. And if it's not, we're going to say less crowded. I probably could have come up with something better, but it's besides the point. Okay, now you notice that I just inserted it into the first cell, and it automatically populated all the way down. Okay, the next one is we're going to create a column, and watch this. It's going to be game type. You see, it expanded the table. Look, we're still within table 2. And so game type, I'm going to, if this little column here equals the @ symbol, all right, then that means it is an away game. And of course, if not, that means it is a home game. And as you can see, it automatically populated all the way through. Now, what I'm going to do, what I typically do is these are what I call calculated fields. And this is part of the raw data. So what I will generally do is I will change the coloring of these to kind of signify like, hey, don't touch these, right? Another thing I will do is I will insert a cell here, or a row, I mean, and I will paste, not special, I want to paste the values, and then I'll hide this. So if you ever forget, if you accidentally delete, you don't have to worry about remembering your formulas. So now you can see I did this with the New York Yankees. Well, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to select anywhere within the table. I'm going to select all. Now, if you remember, before we had a data table, when you selected all, it selected everything, including the headers. But now that we're doing it, it's only selecting the data within. So if I do it once, it selects just the data within the table. If I do it twice, it includes the headers. And then if I do it a third time, it actually does the entire sheet. So what we're going to do is we're going to press Control A, select the data table. We're going to right click, delete table rows. Okay, so now everything's gone, but you notice we still have one line here. Now I'm going to go to this raise data table. I'm going to come up here. Now with this one, I grabbed everything, including the headers. So when I come back to paste, I have to start with the headers. I'm going to right click, paste special, and keep source formatting. And now, if you noticed, the formulas automatically copied and came back. So as you can see, I just switched from New York Yankees to the Tampa Bay Rays. So let's say you're doing some kind of report that's weekly or monthly or quarterly, and you get some kind of standard data. Maybe it's a query from a database. You can simply drop that in. And then this goes across for, let's say we want to make a pivot table, which, you know, and game type, and let's see, runs. All right, so we can see this is a quick pivot table. I will be doing another video with more detail on pivot tables, so if you're not familiar with how this works, don't worry, we'll get to that. But as you can see here, now we have the home and away for the Tampa Bay Rays and their runs based off each one. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back through those steps. We're going to select all, but it's not grabbing the headers. We're going to go delete table rows. We're going to Control A or Command A to capture all of the data within this New York Yankees tab, and this does include the headers because this is not a data table. And so we'll go back, select the header. We're going to paste specials, keep source formatting, okay? And then we come back to this pivot table. We're going to right click and then hit refresh. And now we have our updated pivot table. That is the reasons why you should be using a data table. There's some quick tips. There's more to it. I will go into more detail in some more in-depth videos. But for right now, this is how we're going to manage our data in all of our videos that we'll be doing, all the workshops and the quick tips, is that we'll put these in data tables because it allows for the formulas to automatically populate, and we'll be able to reference the data with just a data table name versus having to manually come up here to your pivot table and change data sources and then go through all your VLOOKUPs and make sure that they go down far enough or they go out enough columns. You won't have to worry about any of that. And so I hope that this is useful to you. Please tune in and check out for more videos as we go more detail and do some longer workshops. So thank you very much.